with collagen, the collagen miracle, and why it's not enough. So I have no conflicts of interest. Now, the body decays every moment of the day. We have what we call micro-aging, every second, with a very fast rate of differentiation, a very steady one. So we need a solution. So anti-aging medicine thought of the collagen miracle. Collagen is a protein, it's made of 20 amino acids, just like all other proteins. And proteins are the brains of the cells. That's a very important statement. Keep that in mind as we go along. So it's the cell's main communication system. It's what creates all the networks inside of our bodies to communicate, all the trafficking, exosomes, communication agents. So the anti-aging industry invented the collagen miracle, and the collagen constitutes about 12% in females, 17% in males. So there is a logic to it and why they sort of capitalized on this particular protein. So 35 years old, you can see the collagen looks very different than when you are 45 or 55 years old. At my age, I'm 71 now, and I keep trying to keep young. So the importance of collagen is just about in all our entire body is extremely important, for our eyes, for the skeletal muscle, the skin, the blood vessels, the cartilage, it's extremely important protein. And there are many collagens. There is about 16, 17 collagens, and there is several collagen subtypes. And now at this point, when they're looking at many different collagens and more collagen subtypes, and all of these different subtypes, alpha 1 and 2 and 3, and collagen type 8, 9, 10, very complex concept. The collagen sort of is increasing in kind of an understanding of how complex it is. And at this point, they said, well, wait a minute, then all of these collagens have to communicate with each other to kind of create a sort of a balance. And it's this balance that creates the anti-aging process, because it's not just one thing, it's just many different collagens and many subtypes that sort of start a kind of a dynamic process, an interacting process. And at this level, you're getting into interconnectivity and what we called before the resonance. So why collagen is not enough? Because only the epidermis has about 20,000 proteins. And the dermis has about 10,000 even more, again from the same article, many different articles that have examined this process. So collagen is one out of 20,000 of these proteins just for the epidermis. And when you get even deeper, there is even more collagens. And not just the separate proteins, but also the interconnectivity. So for true rejuvenation, it cannot be just collagen. Why? Because there is just 20,000 proteins on the skin that all of them have to interact to create this rejuvenation effect, and all of the other processes like cellular communications and differentiation of the stem cells, the endogenous stem cells, our exosomes and how those are communicating, cellular death and autophagy that can clean up the system, and so on. So there's many, many different processes. I mean, just in this room, you heard so many people telling you this part of the elephant and that part of the elephant, and none of us is seeing the elephant. We need to look at the elephant, and the elephant is the whole person, not just the little tail or the little spot or the little, we have to look at the whole. We have to look at the system. So the body is a system. It's not just a container of evaporating liquid, that we can fill it up with hormones or exosomes or stem cells here is the problem. You see, you can definitely tell these people have the best surgeons and the best doctors. You can definitely tell the difference between the young and the old. Why? Because they're looking at only part of the elephant. They don't look at the entire system, and that is the problem. And now the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, which is these investigators, Baker, Hassabis, and Jumper, what they found is they found that there's about 200 million proteins that are involved. And all of these proteins, and also not only that, they also started structuring new proteins. And this is what is coming down the pike after exosomes. You're going to have in about 5 years, mark my words, you're going to have about now new proteins being created and how this will help the anti-aging process. But the point of this is the interconnectivity, and I said this in the previous lecture. Interconnectivity is very important, and this is started with the Nobel Prize in 1999 in medicine and physiology. That is, the proteins are communicating. They know from the moment they are created, they know what part they're going to address, what part of the cell. And this is sort of domestic flights, is intercommunication within the cells. And this is like different depths. This is one of the Dr. Global who created this concept. And so the replacement method cannot work. Why? It's not how much collagen is missing, it's the interrelation with all the other proteins and how these proteins are interconnected. And this is from our research center. I saw this slide before, but if you look at this, it's an interconnectivity. This is not just let's increase this or let's increase that, but how this system is going to connect and communicate with itself. This is something we need to understand, and this is something we need to focus, not just on the part, but the entire thing, and how proteins are alive communicators. They're like we are people and we talk to each other. This is how proteins are inside our bodies. And without the proteins, the body is not talking. It's silent, it's mute. This is all the interconnections, like about 200 millions of proteins. And what is the hallmark of aging? Proteostasis is basically intercommunication and balance between proteins. This is what's going to basically decrease the aging, or kind of delay the aging process. And proteostasis involves several things, including protein folding, because if the protein is unfolded, then it's not. There's a lot of books about that, including my recent book, The Rhythm of Youth, that is published now, and I will give you, if you're interested, I can send you the link. This is again in our research center that we've been doing research in. My other books have been translated into 12 different languages. Now, youth and longevity depend on the harmonious interaction of many different proteins, not just how much collagen you have in your system. So the body is, aging is disharmony. It's not just liking one element, but anti-aging is balance and synchronization. And this is how you need to. Now, this is what you see here is resonance, and you can actually measure this resonance, and you can see how interconnectivity works, and you can see how different cells interconnect and talk with each other. And what's resonance? You have to basically, there has to be a compatibility, there has to be a similarity. You cannot multiply oranges with apples, you're still going to get the same oranges, the same apples. So it has to be sort of a synchrony. Health is synchronization. And this is how resonance and basically transfer. This is a concept that you need to kind of understand. This is the resonance, and as you can see, what's created in the middle, these different colors, is a whole different thing. the two of them, it's not green and it's not orange, red, it's a different color, it's a gestalt, it's a different in the communication. They create a gestalt, they create a synchronization process. That's something that is missing from our anti-aging concepts today. And this is, you can see how the cells change. This is fluorescent energy transfer. You can find the FRED and RED. You can look it up on Google. It's all over, basically. So there is no mechanism to guarantee that anything that is injected is going to be folded. And if it's unfolded, it's not going to be functional. Only folded proteins are functional. This is a folded protein and an unfolded protein, and they are basically the folded proteins. And again, that's another from our lab. The folded proteins are done through resonance. So the resonance process is crucial in anti-aging because that's what folds the proteins. And without that, and what I'm going to show you here, this is a movie that shows under the microscope how resonance will increase the communication between, and also the interaction, the interconnections between cells. And that is a very important aspect. So not just collagen, you need the dynamics of interconnectivity and resonance. And that's, again, from our studio. This is just different analysis of how proteins are folded, and my references. And thank you very much. If you want to reach me, you can scan this WhatsApp, and if you have any questions, I can answer your questions. And again, thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm sorry I went over.